We're going to Bladeshow. And welcome back to That Works. Today's video is twofold. One, we're going to unveil our projects for Bladeshow, and two, we're actually going to go to the show. Now, if you guys have been following along on our Instagrams, if you don't follow along, be sure to follow at Slavic Smith. Ilya, for what now, over a year, has been documenting the progress that he's been making on his sword.
It's an on and off process though. Sometimes you just need inspiration. Sometimes when you don't have it, you make hammers.
And for me, I started this about 3.5 weeks before Bladeshow, and I did not make any kind of video for YouTube of making this. I actually needed a break from it. We've had some big projects, so I just wanted to make a sword off camera to the best of my ability in that time. So the only time that you got to see any updates of me making this was on my Instagram, and I'm at Stagmer. So you should follow along if you want to see some personal projects from the both of us. Now, that said, there will be a full video of the making of your sword.
Yes, because I was under very wide time constraints on this piece, which is the sister sword to the one from 2 years ago. That one was called the Inquisitor. This one is the Heretic, to complete the theme. I documented some stages of making it, forging it, forge welding the billet, assembling the Damascus, engraving, inlaid gems, so on and so forth, and we will assemble a lot of that footage into a complete episode.
That's right. Now, before we actually go to Bladeshow, show you what happened at the show, we got to meet a lot of new makers, got to establish some new relationships with new people. Also, we got to see a lot of exquisite work from makers, mastersmiths, all kinds of different stuff. And there was a little fun at the award show. Before we get to that, we want to take a quick second and thank today's sponsor. Do you like the outdoors life as much as I do? Well, if the answer is yes, then Bespoke Post is for you. Whether it's backpacking, hiking, fishing, camping, or perhaps you're just a gearhead who likes to collect things, or maybe do a little prepping, Bespoke Post delivers the items that you want and need for the activities that you love. Bespoke Post is a monthly based subscription service that delivers loot boxes to your doorstep each and every month that are exactly catered to what it is that you want. Now, how it works is you go to bespokepost.com, you fill out a survey, tell them what you like, tell them what you don't like, and they put together a special catered for you box each and every month. If you don't like what they pick for you, you can always pass or switch it out for one that you do like. Each package is only $45, but the value inside each box is more often than not valued almost double that. Now let's go ahead and take a look at a couple packages they sent me based upon my personal survey. Alright, our first box is the wet sharpening kit. It comes with 3 different honing stones, your genuine hard Arkansas stone, genuine hard black Arkansas stone, and a soft Arkansas stone. The next box is the trail kit. Inside it has everything you need. A survivor guide, all kinds of great information in that. Commando wire saw, a knife with a nice leather sheath. Every camper knows you can't leave without your paracord bracelet. Can't put a price on how much fun you're gonna have opening one of these boxes each and every month. So go to the description, click the link, use the promo code THATWORKS20 and get 20% off your very first subscription. Now, let's go to Bladeshow. So I've been referring to Will Stelter for a while now as the nicest of all bladesmiths. And this year at Bladeshow, he just proved me even more right. So what happened was, our very first day, well, our second day, Friday morning, after we had unloaded some stuff at our table or our booth, we wanted to carry in all our products at the same time. And us being stubborn, me and Ilya that is, we tried to carry in all of it at once. Him and I, one trip to the table, that's it. And on our way in, we found out that that was gonna be pretty difficult. And who was the very first person we saw? But Will Stelter. And he helped us carry our stuff all the way to our table without even asking him to do it. He just volunteered. And our table was basically as far away from the front door as you could get. He graciously helped us and then went on to doing whatever it is that he was planning on doing. But Will definitely is one of the greatest guys in this business, and thanks again, Will, appreciate it. He had some really nice examples of his work. One was a pocket knife that was just beautiful. Just about everything he does is super clean, super nice, so thanks again, Will. Another really cool thing that happened this year at Bladeshow is I got to meet my friend Sarah from Soulbound Leather. Now she's an old friend I had from Twitch that I never actually met in person. So back when I used to live stream a lot on Twitch, I used to pop into different people doing creative art streams, and she was doing leather work. I thought it was really clean. I suggested maybe she start doing sheaths and maybe even holster work. She did, and now she's popular on the knife scene, so it was great to meet her.
Well, I've been down so long that my mind can't get no rest. No, no, I've been down so long that my mind can't get no rest. No, no, this ain't easy, darling, 'cause the devil's on my trail. I've been running so long that my feet don't work no more. Oh yeah, I've been running so long that my feet don't work no more. Oh no, it ain't easy, darling, when the devil's on my trail. Oh yeah. Gonna tell you one more time, I can't run, I can't hide, I can't stay in no more. No, I can't run, I can't hide, I can't stay in no more. Oh no, 'cause when the devil's out to get you, you better pray and run slow. Oh, I'm gonna tell you one more time, baby. When the devil's out to get you, you better pray and run slow. Oh no.
Well, the most exciting thing about Bladeshow 2021, that is held in Atlanta, Georgia, it is the largest show where mastersmiths and absolutely amazing artists, usually from across the world, this time around not so much, for obvious reasons, get to show off the work they've been doing for the past year. This time it's past 2 years. You get to see work by Raya Knives, Quinsonberry, Kevin Cashin, so on and so forth. And they get to really, in one weekend, inspire you for the next year of making stuff.
Absolutely. I mean, that's one of the things. We went to Bladeshow initially 4 years ago now as just patrons. We just walked around.
I think it's 3 years ago.
Well, 3 years ago was technically our first time. 3
Yeah.
shows ago. Yes.
No, 3 years ago, 2 shows ago.
No, we went before.
Okay, well,
Either way, the first year that we went, we just went as patrons, and we walked around, and it was inspiring, and we knew that we wanted to get a table for the following year. That's when I made my mosaic gladius. He made the sister sword to this, and it was quite a different experience and just inspiring to do it again. And then it being canceled was like a huge bummer. However, we got 2 years to think about our projects, and going back this time, we weren't the new guys on the block, and it was very refreshing this year because we were noticed more for what we made and then being the guys on that show on YouTube. So that was very nice. Like I said, I only took 3.5 weeks. Ilya was on me for a year.
2 years.
2 years to make something nicer.
Since 2019, I've been up your ass about making something really nice.
Anyway, I made something pretty darn nice. I was definitely proud of. And this was the year that I was supposed to test for JS, which is the path that you have to go before you can get to your Mastersmith testing. And it just, a lot of things happened. Videos happened, and I drug my feet. And I wasn't even sure Bladeshow was going to happen, so I didn't really dedicate the time I should to doing that. But I will 100% either be testing for my JS stamp later this year, at very latest at next Bladeshow. So hopefully that happens. But yeah, Bladeshow in general, I don't even think I knew that I needed that show this year as much as I did until we were there.
I knew it.
Like not having anywhere to go, let alone a quality show such as Bladeshow has. It affects you if you don't
are in an
get
S shape. They
judged
were
by your
hand-forged,
peers.
so
You
it
don't
gives a very
see your peers' work. There is a lack of drive that can happen in an artist. So being there this year was something I personally needed, maybe more so than Ilya. And I'm very pumped to make nicer things moving forward, get my JS stamp, get the Mastersmith stamp, and dive more into the world of making nicer and nicer things.
For me, the most exciting thing about going to the show, so this piece was sold before the show, so there was no pressure selling anything. So I got to be free just talking about the piece. I got to be free in thinking about the next project. And at the same time, with a piece like this, it is good enough to show people who are better than I am to say, what do I need to work on? What is that I have that is really good I need to focus on to perfect that? And at the same time, I get input in terms of my overall artistic capabilities in establishing the composition, the look, the style, and I like compliments. Sometimes I like compliments from other artists, and that's what I got. So that was pretty nice.
Absolutely. And for me, this piece was kind of like the evolution of what I had been doing most of my career, and kind of like the peak of that. Now I want to branch off from this style of weapon and really make full art pieces. That said, like I said, there will not be a full build video of this, but let's go ahead and take a look. I did some beauty shots before we went to Bladeshow of the sword, so let's go ahead and take a closer look at my sword, Sebastian, and I'll tell you why it's named Sebastian in just a minute.
Sebastian is a complex hilted flamberge bastard sword, or hand and a half. It features a pattern welded clamshell that was ground to shape after it was hand raised. The blade is about 33 inches long. The pommel is also Damascus with a Mokame pommel nut. Each and every part was hand sculpted on a Broadback Ironworks grinder using Red Label abrasives. Before assembly, each and every part of the complex hilt was hand forged to shape. The quillions of the guard are hand forged into an S shape, giving it a very organic feel. All of the detail and fluting on the outside of the quillions was done after the forming. The handle of the sword was spiral fluted and then wrapped with twisted steel wire with copper spacers. The ends of the handle are capped in silver. The blade was super high polished to a 1200 grit and then 2-stage buffed to give it a mirror polish.
So I hope you like this piece. This was a complex hilted flamberge. I guess you'd call it like a hand and a half or a long sword. It has a lot of different components that I had in my mind to make different things. It started as a rapier in my head, but then kind of the way I did things came out a little larger, and just to make everything nice and proportionate, it became a long sword. So that said, there will be a video in the short future of this style of piece in a full-blown rapier. So
Historical one with historical proportions.
Historical proportions, historical construction, which is very important, where I used some modern construction with MIG welding some of the sweeps and such onto this piece. We're going to be showing you how it would be done, whether it's forge welding, brazing, riveting, more construction that would have been done on a historical rapier.
The stuff you've been asking for a while.
Now the reason that it's called Sebastian, because it's funny. while I was making this, we have a very loose atmosphere sometimes in the shop, and as I'm making this, many times Chris would come in and start singing "Under the Sea, Under the Sea, Under the Sea," stuff like that from Little Mermaid, because it has a clamshell, because it had, well, most of the pieces are kind of clamshelly, has a very aquatic theme, if you will. So he kind of made fun of me a lot on that, and it stuck, so I called it Sebastian.
That's why.
And I love this piece, by the way. I'm not ever going to apologize. I only took 3 weeks to do it. I should have taken 3 months. It would have been perfect, and I would not have shown up feeling sorry about any of the pieces, but it has some elements that were a lot of fun to do. Like, I had never done a wire-wrapped handle on a sword fully myself.
And this one is very hard because the wire is going in the same direction as the spiral, which is the most difficult way of doing it.
And I still haven't done one by myself, honestly. It took Ilya and I about 3.5 hours just to wrap the wire after it was twisted onto the handle, because we were wrapping the wire the opposite way, actually with the spiral, kind of. So the pieces, the wire wanted to slide into the gaps, and it
turned into basically wrapping the katana type of project.
It was a nuisance, but at the same time, because it was hard, I like it and I appreciate it even more.
And when you showed this piece to Will Stelter, he immediately noticed, why would you do it the hardest way possible? To which the response is obviously, because it's hard, that's why I did it.
That is literally why I chose to do it. That said, let's cut to a beauty shot of Ilya's sword. Just kidding. There isn't a beauty shot. We'll show you a little glimpse of some of it, but you're gonna have to stay tuned. There will be a full video on this. My aim is to have that up probably mid-June, maybe early June.
We're almost mid-June. We're past early
July.
June.
Anyway, we'll see.
Early July, late June.
We're planning on having a full build video, show you all the work that he put into that, the engraving, the mosaic Damascus, the gem setting. Is there gem setting?
Oh yeah.
Gem setting.
A bunch of it.
All kinds of different work that you don't get to see from us when we do these quick, 1 week, 2 week builds. So that's going to be very refreshing to finally have a video on our channel of something that he made, that has all of the work. So no beauty shot right now with this. We will show you some glimpse throughout the video, but in general, you're gonna have to wait for the full video, and I hope you watch it. Not only did we unveil our swords at Bladeshow, we also unveiled these new That Works t-shirts. We still have a few left, so if you are interested, they will be listed on the website. They feature my Bradley Helve hammer. If you guys have been along for the ride over the last year when we went up and picked this hammer up, we are currently restoring it. It does run, but we need a few minor adjustments, a new treadle, such. But just thought it was fitting for our this year's kind of special edition t-shirt to have that on there. So if you're into that, head on over there. It's a good deal, and you help support us out. And also, while you're there, check out all the other stuff we have for sale, because we do now have some bladesmithing hammers back in stock, along as some blades. But be quick, because we don't have that many.
We're gonna soon have knives too.
We're gonna have
a pile of knives that you need to grind, and that's a good practice for you.
I'm very excited about that.
Now let's talk about this piece. So 2 years ago, I presented the Inquisitor, which was a ladder pattern Damascus with the really cathedral architecture theme, executed in slightly modern interpretation. This time around, it's a mosaic Damascus blade that has 4 kinds of steel. Meteorite steel, 15 and 20, U16, and 80 CRV. These are the steels in this mosaic. The reason why I chose mosaic is because of you guys. One little scoundrel who likes to sit on the couch and comment on our stuff has said, "I've never seen Ilya make any complex Damascus. I've never seen him make mosaic Damascus." Well, it's not that difficult for me, and here you go. Out of spite, I made the mosaic Damascus, the design of the mosaic itself. It's purely out of spite. Now, spite aside, I was approached by a collector in England whose collection I respect, and he wanted to buy something special. And I said, well, I have this idea for the sister sword, so this one's going to be called the Heretic. And consequently, the inspiration for the engraving was the concept of heresy. Especially at the time, I was rereading Friedrich Nietzsche, his Thus Spake Zarathustra, The Antichrist, The Genealogy of Morals, and his very witty responses to Wagner. And as a result, I've combined some of the themes, if you know what to look for, in the overall composition, the theme, the design. And I also stayed very close to the style of the Inquisitor. You see the shrunken silver handle wrapped. Once again, we have an amethyst in the pommel, even though this pommel is not a wheel pommel, it's a bishop's hat pommel, but it's evocative of a wheel pommel, and both sides have deep relief engraving. But this time around, I set some rubies in the guard, and the guard has a little bit more of a scroll work motif instead of the death head and an angel head, which was present in the Inquisitor.
Now you have to save some of this for the actual video to make them actually come watch it.
In the actual video, I will primarily focus on the general concept and the aesthetic influences of the high Middle Ages swords as you see them in museums, the higher end. And I'm going to talk about the cathedral architecture proportions and how they are reflected in medieval European swords. I will also be mentioning some of Peter Johnson's work once in a while, because I think he's in a very, very good track in analyzing what is the cultural meaning of a European sword in a given context. The meaning of an amethyst, so an amethyst until the 19th century used to be a precious stone, now it became a semi-precious stone. But the reason why in medieval Europe they would use amethyst, because it's supposed to prevent you from getting drunk. And drinking and holding weapons is a bad idea, so that's a little bit of a piece of humor on my part.
Did it work this weekend?
It did not, because I did not hold the sword when everybody I know was alcoholing me severely.
Now, while we're still on the subject of making your sword, one very nice thing happened while we were at Bladeshow, and I know you don't like to talk about accolades. However,
it's one thing making the sword, and it's a totally other thing when your sword made it.
that's right. So Ilya was voted best sword in show
By a jury of my peers.
which was a very nice change. This year, all the judging at Bladeshow was done by mastersmiths, I believe, at least by our peers. So, to me, I think the award actually means more winning it this year than previous years, and that was just a very fun moment. They announced it differently this year. They did it in the pit at Bladeshow, and if you're not familiar with Bladeshow, after the show is over,
Everybody goes drinking.
Everybody goes in what they call the pit in the bottom of a hotel and has a good time and socializes. So this year at 8 o'clock on Saturday night, they announced the award winners, and it was, for me, I loved seeing him win. I thought that was a great moment. There were some other really nice pieces in his category.
Jordan, outside, so this year, a friend of ours, Jordan, was actually submitting for his ABS Master Smith test, and he did, one of his choices was absolutely stunning to me. The most difficult geometry to grind, that is the Persian style dagger, and his piece won best in show, which is
Right.
I agree with that choice.
It was also, I would have loved to seen him win best in show as well. However, Jordan winning for that specific piece felt almost even better, just because those are very subtle. There's not a whole lot of wow to somebody who doesn't know what they're looking at, but being judged by your peers, I think it was much more understood outside the guideline, not necessarily outside the guidelines, but outside the norms of an ABS piece. So that was part of his ABS Mastersmith set that got him elected to be a Mastersmith, and also won best in show. So congratulations, Jordan. That was an awesome piece to see, and not just to see in person, but in person to see the proportions are very historically correct. And
also,
his dagger was very proportional.
The courage it takes to submit a piece like that for the testing, and having faith in all your work to say, yep, that's worthy of it.
But needless to say, Ilya's trying to deflect some attention on him. We can give him a moment. Congratulations. He won best sword. The plan probably is for me to make a nice sword next year and go for the similar award,
Next year, I'm not submitting for best sword because Matt has to submit for best sword next year.
And I did not submit my sword. You can't really do that at the same table anyway, but even if I walked up to the table to submit my sword and there was another sword that I already had felt was better than mine, I would not submit anyway. And driving down already knowing this was going to be there out of respect, not just of my
and Matt
comrade.
would not let me not submit mine.
Right, and I just wouldn't let him not submit it. It's too good. So congratulations, Ilya. Want to thank Bladeshow, everyone involved in Bladeshow, specifically Blade Magazine and everybody that worked real hard to make the show happen this year. Like I said before, I didn't know how much I needed it until I was there. Definitely need it. Refueling my fires.
You could have just listened to me. I knew exactly how much you
refueled the
needed
fires of a maker, and just like seeing people, being back in the public, and I hadn't shook somebody's hand in a long time. So all that stuff, that was a great experience. So thank you, Bladeshow, for putting on. Thank you to everybody who did come, all the new people I met, the old people, everything. Like, Bladeshow was much needed to get my my inspiration stoked again. So thank you. We are going to, like I said, do a full build video on this, a similar build video on this. Check out the t-shirts. Don't forget to follow Ilya at Slavic Smith. Follow myself at Matt Stagmer on Instagram, so that you don't miss out on some of our personal projects that don't make it to YouTube. There is a lot of different reasons why some of these projects don't make it to YouTube, but sometimes it's just because it's refreshing to make something without the pressure or knowing that I'm going to have to edit a video afterwards. So it was very nice to work through a piece that was basically just for me. It was things I wanted to do and didn't have any outside influence. And once again, thanks for watching this. Thanks to everybody at Bladeshow. It was a long drive, but we very much look forward to doing it again next year. If you are a collector or a fan of blades, don't miss out on 2022 Bladeshow in Atlanta, Georgia. I don't know if they've announced the dates just yet, but it's always early summer, so try to make it down there. You will be inspired if you're a new maker, an old maker. I've been doing it for 24 years. I'm inspired every time I go. So new, old, go to Bladeshow. Thanks, guys. We'll catch you guys next time.
Peace out.
Thanks for watching this special Bladeshow 2021 edition of That Works. Be sure to like this video if you want to see us cover more great events. And as always, tell us in the comments below what build you'd like to see this team build next. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel, That Works.